Following a competitive spring racing season, the Northeastern men's rowing program experienced team-wide success at the IRA National Championships. Placing 9th overall as a team, one of the largest improvements in the country from last season, the Huskies' first varsity powered their way into the grand final over Ivy foes Harvard and Dartmouth. With the majority of rowers in the top 2 boats returning, men's rowing is primed for another successful year in 2024.
We had a strong, normal season, and going into the IRA, I think, the goal is always simple: is we want to get, the varsity 8 into the A final, and we want to try and race for national championship. I thought the guys performed well when we got there, and we knew it was going to be a really competitive field, and seeing them come through, that AB semi against Harvard on Saturday, setting us up for the A final, was definitely a season highlight.
Last year, we had a really good, IRAs, and we had a good regular season, pretty standard. But this year we kept the ball moving, and the energy day in and day out. From the 4V all the way to the 1V, everyone pushed each other.
IRAs is the kind of like pinnacle of our sport. It's what we really used to aim for all year. The goal was to knock off a couple of the teams that had beat us all season. Harvard is someone who we really look at, just downstream from us, kind of like our Boston competition. They've always historically been, the big name, not only in Boston, but in the country for rowing. So, a huge target for us all the time.
We didn't get off the line great, but we knew that we had a really strong base. We knew we were the best technical crew at the IRAs.
I think we got up a seat with probably 500 meters to go. We were going through our tiers, which is like our sprint sequence, sort of to end the race. So we had gone from, a length down to a seat up, and then they moved back on us to a seat or 2 seats up.
When they came by me, it was really close. I was about 400 meters from the finish, and I think the 2 boats were probably within 2 or 3 feet then.
At the 1K, we just started taking a push, and stroke for stroke, we creeped up on Harvard, and we kept trading shots, kind of like a boxing match, and trying to see who was going to last the longest. And we just stayed really composed in the last 300 meters.
We could hear their coxswain calling for rhythm. We could hear the stroke seat yelling, and people trying to get themselves going. But the damage was already done at that point. We had the momentum, and we were able to just inch through them at the end, which was really an incredible feat, especially for Rhett Burns, our stroke seat, who graduated. That was always a goal of his, and his entire time here at Northeastern was to beat Harvard. So to see that happen for him, to help him achieve that goal, and a goal for all of us as well, it's really inspiring. And I hope that we can take that momentum and move that to next year, and hopefully take the Smith Cup back for the first time since, I believe, 1997. Something about this year's crew in particular that was really spectacular is that no one in that boat ever gave up. That if you're halfway through the race and you're sitting a length down, you can trust in everyone that they're going to push to the end. And I think that's something we did really well this year, is we had the athleticism to do that, and it's exactly what we showed against Harvard.
From where we were a year ago, getting all the boats into the AB semi on Saturday was a big thing. And we have everybody but, I believe, 4 people on the entire team coming back for the fall, so there's a lot of excitement there. The group worked really hard this year through the fall and the winter, and I think that set them up well for the spring. And we're going to be doing the same thing again this year, because it never gets easier to stay, in that top group.
So I think this year's team in particular, we had a really great relationship, I think, with the coaching staff, where, they trusted us to have input in the training plan as well. And I think that, helped with motivation day in and day out, and just keeping guys happy being there, working hard every day.
No, I'm excited for the 3V to push the 2V next season and continue building up. And I think, in the next couple of years, we're going to see Northeastern just on a positive trajectory. And, I'm looking forward to being on that podium next year. I think with Perkins' leadership and, the way that this team is, building around, this 1B, I think that we're going to see a lot of crews in the future, take places on the podium.
So I think the biggest takeaway is that, I think it's important that the guys believe that they can do what they set their minds to. And, we talked about a goal of being in the A final this year, and this was an incredibly deep year in the men's rowing field for various reasons. There are a lot of guys doing 5th years, they're grad transfers at other schools because of COVID. So the field was deep, and I think, coming in with a young squad, believing that they could do it was a big thing. And, I look forward to seeing most of those guys back in the fall, hoping to take the next step, right? I think, obviously getting in the final at the IRA is always a huge goal. And, we'd like to take it from there to the next level.